We settle down a little bit. I know everyone's arriving, but we have a very powerful half hour to do together and some great things to share with you. How many people know anyone else that visits a city and leaves it better than they found it? You do. Everywhere we go now, you do that. You know, we were at 2 Boys and Girls Clubs with almost 100 people, and we have left this city better than we found it. We did that just in Budapest and in Johannesburg, and we'll be doing it in Bangkok and at the next boot camp and so on. And it's a legacy that we will be known for, that everywhere we go, it's better than we found it. What a gift. What an amazing gift, and thank you. Yes, yeah. So, let's move on and talk a little bit about the foundation, and then move on to what we're here to do together today. So, for those that don't know it, you have your own foundation, and the job of the foundation is to bring positive change to children globally. And we do it through the Boys and Girls Clubs in the US, and we do it around the world in different ways. And today we're going to be talking a lot about how we do it with our fabulous partner, Hug It Forward. In the country, we have committed to making an impact change in our lifetimes, from a war-strewn country to an educated country. And you're part of that story, so hang in there while we talk about it. So, before I jump in too quickly into Hug It Forward, I really want you to know that we have some fabulous volunteers this year. I talked about them yesterday in our product meeting. And we have India, Peru, Brazil, Mexico, Asia. We have China, Indonesia, Thailand. I can't remember them all. We're everywhere. Join us. Zimbabwe. I'm going to go there in August. We're going to have a great time. So, have a look. It's Dream Trips, volunteers. Have your dream trip with us and come around the world and make a difference. So, let's work with what we're doing today. Hug It Forward has been our longtime partner. As I said, they are a country of change for us. We are committed to making a difference in that country in our lifetime. The work we have done there, last year, we raised $350,000 together for Hug It Forward. And in this event, we gave them more funds than that, but this is what we raised together. And these are the results that you can share with anyone about what happened because of that fundraising. 43 bottle school classrooms were created. 12,463 of our community members were impacted, and 335 volunteers went down to build the bottle schools. And we can do much more than that if we set out to do it. So, who recognizes this team? So, this is Zach's statement. We are amazed by the continued generosity and support of the WorldVentures family. We look forward, and this is important, to you all coming to Guatemala to have this transformational experience and to help change children's lives. And everyone is welcome on this. So, today, we're going to raise the bar a little bit. Our goal today is to build 60 classrooms and raise $400,000 together. And I do have to tell you, some people have already pledged a team raise, and some individuals have already pledged generously, and we'll share that together. But this is what we're going to do together as teams. We're not asking each person to say something. We're asking you to think of this as all of us together, one big team. And how can you do that as a team? You can do it as a team. You commit over 90 days to raise $6,500 for one classroom. 2 classrooms, I mean, here's the math. And then if you come to the foundation booth, we have other options if you're interested in doing a little less. But today, this is the goals of the group together today. All right. So can we play the Hug It Forward video? I have a new video for you. We just finished. So let's watch it together. Or not.
There's so many things that we take for granted, and we went to a shack a couple days ago, and they didn't even have a floor, to see just what it means to them just to have a place to sleep, and we take that stuff for granted every single day.
We're very happy to be here because here in Guatemala, the education system, especially in the mountain areas, is pretty insufficient.
We empower communities to come together and create a better future for the children through education.
You know, it just reinforces why I'm here and why the company is doing this great thing. This is really what this is all about.
There's no trash collection system in Guatemala, but there's a big need of schools in Guatemala. We found a way to engage the community by building schools out of trash. The community has to come together and collect 6,500 bottles or 10,000 bottles. Before the volunteers come down, we make sure that the community understands that they only come here to support their project.
Very privileged to be here. This is our 50th bottle school. It's been really an incredible experience. As you can see, really come in shape nicely. And tomorrow we're actually going to see an inauguration of the 50th school.
What people don't really realize is that we're doing so much more than just building schools. We're creating education for the women to realize their rights. It's really education that's going to go many generations from now. The energy, the love, the compassion is unreal. I mean, a smile is the same language in all of the languages.
I'm just so thankful to be here and to share with these beautiful children and the teachers who have the heart to stay. It's unbelievable. This has forever changed me.
You know, I obviously will have watched this quite a few times already, and you know, it's like, yes and yes, let's do this together. So I would like to welcome to the stage a friend of the foundation, a friend of Hug It Forward, and a friend of you all to talk about his journey in the Hug It Forward world and bottle schools. Please help me welcome Dave Watson to join us.
Good afternoon, everybody. You know what, I get the great privilege, and I really mean that as a privilege, to ask you for money. A long time ago, I learned something that when you're trying to raise money, a lot of people fear the idea of trying to ask people for money. But when you get to see what I've seen over the last number of years in Guatemala, you would consider it a joy just like I do right now. You see, 3 years ago, I went to Guatemala for my very first time. My very first time. And I fell so in love with the people and so in love with the country that it changed my life forever. I made the commitment after visiting there one time that we were going to raise as much money as we possibly could. And we were going to get as many volunteers as we possibly could to go down there and build a school. Well, that school turned into 2, to 4, to 8, to 20, to 30, to 50, And now 57 schools have been completed in Guatemala. Would you do me a favor? If you have been to Guatemala and participated in any of those 57 schools, would you stand up for me, please? If you've been to any of those schools. Let's give these volunteers a great big hand. Thank you so much for all that you've done. And in a second, I'm going to recognize those of you who've given and paid for bottle schools and those types of things. But you need to know and understand something. WorldVentures is a very, very interesting company. We talk about where we stand in the DSA and how much success we've had as a company. We've talked about joy today. We've talked about a lot of things. But I'm here to tell you that in my life, my goal, my dream is to see lives changed. I like making money, and I like my airplane. I like all the things that WorldVentures afforded me. I like going on vacation, but nothing is like sitting in the dirt with a 6-year-old Guatemalan throwing concrete against some pop bottles. Nothing in the world is rewarding as that. That makes me joyous. I'll never forget when we were building our very first school, and some of you have heard me tell this story, but we had an older Guatemalan man. He probably was 75 years old. And we were inaugurating our very first school that we were completing down there. And all of a sudden, from the back of the area that we were doing this, comes this little Guatemalan. And these little Guatemalans are about this big. And he comes running up to the front of the stage. And he lays his chin right on the front of the stage because the stage was way up in the air. And I'll never forget, I didn't know why he was coming up there, but he said, "We have dreams too. We have dreams too." And coming from a country that truly is a third world country, where they eat black beans and tortillas 90% of the time, and if you're eating a chicken, you're probably eating the chicken that lays their eggs. If they've got shoes on, they're fortunate. If they had to walk less than 100 yards to school, they're fortunate, because most of them have to walk 2 or 3 miles up and over the mountains and over the river, through the stream. It's an unbelievable thing to see what they do. But you know the old saying, you don't know what you don't know. And if you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. If you've never been there, you're wondering what I'm talking about. Which is why we lead we lead trips to Guatemala every month now, virtually. Sometimes 2, 3, 4 times a month, led by volunteers of WorldVentures. We have raised hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last 2 years. Money in the bank, schools to be built, multiple schools going on at the same time right now. It's an amazing experience. And when I committed in 2012 to spend 1 week every month in Guatemala for a year, I never dreamed it would grow to this. Actually, yes, I did. I did dream it would grow like this. I just didn't realize it would come this fast. 57 schools. What I'd like to do is, I just came back from Guatemala here recently with Raymond and Janie's team. And it was an unbelievable experience. It was an unbelievable experience because you know those guys. They are tremendous leaders already in their own mind, in their own rights. And in their own minds too. They know it. They know they're good. But I've asked Janie to come up here real quickly and share with us, and Raymond, to share what their experience was over a couple of minutes so you can get a flavor from somebody maybe other than myself. So Raymond and Janie, here you go, guys.
Well, I have to tell you, it's something, number one, that took us way too long to go on. I mean, we've been putting it off, and we thank the Lord for everybody in WorldVentures, but one person in particular that changed our life, and that is Julie Eversole and her husband, Kurt Eversole. She kept pushing us to go, and finally Raymond and I committed to go and make it a team trip. You know, the simplest way to explain it is a reset button. It is a reset button for you internally. It was a reset button for us. It introduced us to a group of people, the Guatemalans, that so badly need our help in order to change the cycle of the children forever. It's a cycle that, unfortunately, they don't have the funding for the schools, so they don't go all the way through high school in a lot of areas, and they're forced to go and work in the fields instead of getting an education and going out and getting a job. And we're working on changing that cycle because of what Dave Watson and WorldVentures Foundation has done. Because of the team effort, what we did is we put together a fundraising opportunity for our team. And we funded one classroom, and we were able to not only start that school while we were there, but we go back in about another 2 weeks, and we go to finish the school and inaugurate the school. And we get to go back there and see the same little kids that we saw and go dance with the same little kids that we saw. So Dave, thank you for knocking over that first domino.
Thank you, Raymond and Janie. Thank you so much. I'd like to take just a second now and identify and honor some of the people who've done what Raymond and Janie have. James Lee. I know I saw him over here just a little bit ago. James, would you stand up, please? James Lee funded an entire school this last year. Not only did he fund that school, but he went down to dedicate and inaugurate that school. Thank you, James Lee. Raymond and Janie Braun, you just heard their story. Jefferson and Megan Santos, where are they? There they are right here. Stand up, wave over the top of the shark pit here. Wave to them. Tony Caruana and the Free Hugs crew in Colorado. And again, this is not necessarily something that someone has to do on an individualized basis. Some of these are now teams. Rachel McGee, Shelby Ash, Anthony Gibbs representing the Rat Pack. Steve Murison, Chi Young. Our own WorldVentures executive staff has funded a school. Max Tay, Walter Weinman and Team San Diego. TNT Dynamite, Rainer Zimmerman and Angelica Dahmen. They went with us as well. Just spent time with them. They're from Singapore. Keith Vaughn and Team Hope. And our newest additions, newest double IMDs, Kiri and Leisha Schneider, just committed to building a school as well. Here's what we would like you to do. If you have any desire to be a part of what it is that we're doing, I know a lot of you do, you can either do that on an individualized basis or you can do that also as a team basis. So think about what it is that you want to do over the next 24 hours, but very specifically right now, we've got people that are out here right now ready to get information to you. If you know that your team wants to commit to building a school, I need you to be great stewards about this as well. Don't get caught up in the emotion right now and say, I want to build a school and then not participate in that. Think about it very carefully, but if you think that you and or your team would like to rally together to build some kind of a team, build a school with your team, we need to know about that. We need to know about that right now. Jeff Johnson, school or your team? He doesn't care. He'll do both. Johnny and Crystal are going to find somebody to do one, and then they'll do one on top of that. That, to me, is 2 schools. Thanks, Johnny and Crystal. Matter of fact, if you want to build a school, just stand up. You want to do one? Keith Brown. His team's going to build one. Here we go. Emily, get over there. What do you guys want? Build a school? Build a school? Build a school? Build a school. We got schools up there. We got schools coming from everywhere right now. Michael Jacks. Give it up for Michael Jacks. Says, I'll build a school. Anybody else want to build it? Dave Canary wants to build a school with our team Orlando, right? We'll build a school. We'll go down and build it ourselves. Bethany Webster and Marty. Marty and Bethany Webster. Marty Grant. It's the Grants, the Webster family. Wolfpack Nation from Atlanta wants to build a school. We got schools. Yes, what are you guys going to do? School. Stay standing. They'll come around and bring you the information. We've got just a couple of minutes left. What I'd like to do right now, you got more people over here? Just get the information and let's build a school. I'd like to bring to the stage my daughter Sarah, and her son Zachary. Come out here, Zach. Come here. Let me take a second. Let's go way out here, Zach. Zach turned 6 years old in Guatemala this last month. And he's in a Spanish immersion school, and when he heard that he was going to get a chance to go to Guatemala, he was very, 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 very excited. Zachary, look at this. Is this amazing? Okay, now, I want you to answer some questions for me, okay? Don't be nervous because there's 13,000 people here. See, they're laughing. They like us. Let me ask you a question. What's the coolest part about going to Guatemala for you?
Building schools.
Building a school? Let me ask you a question. Why was building a school the most important thing to you?
Because if we weren't there,
You wouldn't have a school, would they?
they wouldn't have a school.
Yeah. So it's important that we have lots to build schools, right? And so all these people that are out here, you see what they're doing right now? They're raising their hands and they want to build schools. Would you like to go back again?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, if you had some advice for everybody here right now, what would you say to them?
Give money.
All right, that's right, Zach. That's right. Everybody. Sarah, in a minute, what did Guatemala mean to you?
You know, I've been able to go on a lot of mission trips in my life. My dad has taken me, and now to be able to give that opportunity to my son. I think I was 10 years old when I went on my first missions trip, but this was so different to me. The multi-generational legacy that we get to leave now between the three of us is incredible to me. It's, you know, I get to send my son to school, and I don't think twice about it. We don't think twice about sending our kids to school. But when you're holding a little child's face in your hand that wouldn't have that opportunity because a school doesn't even exist, it's more than just watching a commercial about it. It's more than just seeing a child's face in a picture. It's so much more than that. And if you've been, you get that. You know that it's hard to relay that feeling. It's incredible what we're doing as one big team to be able to change an entire path of a country.
And one more thing, Sarah. What is it like to be a part, from your side of perspective, your perspective, to be a part of a company that raises this kind of money and has an entire desire to change the entire education system of a country like Guatemala?
You know, we got to hear from some men in the villages about what they went through in Guatemala when they had the Civil War, and to hear those stories, we just don't get it. We don't understand what other people in the world might go through when they're talking about things like that. But to be a part of a place and a company and a people that want to and have a passion to change the world, one life at a time, one child at a time, is an incredible opportunity that I'll never forget, and now I get to pass along to my son.
Okay, now Zachary was very distinct with what he said. We need to give money. So we've got plenty of people who've raised their hand, says, I'll build a school, I'll build a school, I'll build a school, I'll build a school. Here's where the rest of us can help. If you can't build a school, we get it, we understand. Not everybody has the kind of money as a double IMD. However, we've got a system whereby we all can do something right now. So if you've got a cell phone in it, go ahead and pull that out right now. Pull it out. Now, if you've got an international plan, sorry, we'll have somebody with some buckets running around. You can just throw some cash in there. As a matter of fact, anybody can throw cash in there. But here is an opportunity to give $10. Now, there are 13,500 people in this room. If everybody give $10, that's going to be a significant amount of money. Text WVF, World Ventures Foundation, WVF. It can be all lower caps or not. It says 80888. 80888. You'll be billed right through your phone company. We'll have your money immediately. We'll be able to tell you how much we raised here in a very short period of time. WVF to 80888. It will give you an option to give a $10 donation. Not $100, not $300, not $1,000, a $10 donation. As you move through that, it'll ask you just once if you'd like to double that. My understanding, if you take 10 and double it, that's 20. That means you've got two choices, a $10 bill or a $20 bill. That's it. I cannot wait to see what we as a company from all over the world coming together right now to have an impact on an education system of an entire company. I can't tell you how proud I feel about that. 80888 WVF, $10. I say let's just all double it to 20. Peach will do that, I know for sure. So 80888 WVF, give money, right, Zach? All right, thanks everybody.
So we will be back later and tell you how we did. If there's anybody else that wants to, has had time to talk to their team and say, let's go for that classroom, where anyone with a yellow t-shirt will be happy to talk to you, and we'll be at the booth all afternoon if you want to come see us. We are so grateful for your generosity, your willingness to be here with us, and we hope you have a fabulous afternoon. Thank you so much. Thank you.